decided this year to record my garden because I've never done this before, so bear with me. It's probably going to turn out crappy, but the poor plants are looking kind of dry. I already watered them, but they are always dry. But this is my front gate. And I'm not as happy with my garden this year as usual. But we got carrots, broccoli, pickled cucumbers, more pickled cucumbers, and then green beans, and of course Egyptian onions that I planted when we first moved out here, and I'm slowly but surely moving them because they just take over. And then I got a row of cabbage that I planted as an afterthought, and it looks really dry and terrible. It just won't hold the moisture there. But then I planted another row of carrots. It's kind of hard to see them. And I got a couple sunflowers over there that finally opened up. Then there's a potato that was on the rototiller that just came up, and some dill that just keeps popping up, and my orange glow watermelon that keeps getting lots of flowers, so I don't know what's going on with that. And I got a couple more cucumbers, pickles, and onions that were from last year that came back again this year. And then down here is a couple more pickled cucumbers, and then we have mini pumpkins. We have 4 of them, and they've gone crazy, obviously, as you can see. Oh, and my free asparagus. They're at the seedy, weedy stage right now, so, but they grow back every year. And then we've got some potatoes over here on the back, along the back line there, mixed yellow, red, and russets. And then we got our strawberry patch that's always pretty dry, but it did make strawberries this year. And I got a couple strawberry planters here and over there, and garlic growing. And then I started a new raspberry patch there up against the greenhouse and along the back side of the greenhouse. And then we planted a couple big, they're called Big Macs pumpkins, and they're going a little crazy. They got outside of the fence, as you can see. And underneath there, up against the fence, are my watermelons that are covered by pumpkins. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's really growing like crazy. This is my greenhouse. Got my cherry tomato and a couple other tomatoes and a pepper, and then these tomatoes I grew from seed, so they're a little bit behind, but they're flowering. And then cucumbers, these ones are really going down. Those I grew from seed. And then these 2 jalapeno peppers I grew from seed, and they're really coming along. I need to transplant those. And more flowers that I actually grew from seed this year. All of my flowers I grew from seed this year. Instead of buying flowers, I finally actually grew them from seed this year. So the other side of my garden, we've got our corn, and it's doing pretty good. Some of the seeds didn't pop this year, so I'm gonna have to start over next year with new ones. And we've got a couple of sunflowers that came back from last year, or came out of the bird feeder. And then we planted some peas with them. Some of them came pretty good and some of them didn't. But we had potatoes that came back from last year that were planted here on the rototiller. And they just took over, obviously, and have done whatever they wanted. As you can see, it's kind of a mess. But, and I've got my 3 zucchinis. I've already got a couple zucchinis off of the middle one. And then this first row is supposed to be iceberg lettuce. And it's starting to kind of do a little head of lettuce. But everything's kind of covering it, so. Usually my garden's a lot bigger, but you can see that it's starting to make heads though, or ears. So I'm hopeful. But I've got a bunch of trees that need to get transplanted. And I got my other little strawberry bucket here. Another raspberry patch here. Got them on the inside and outside of the fence. And my apple tree. And then start another Egyptian onion patch over here. Some more raspberries and a blackberry. My rhubarb. And I've slowly but surely started bringing all my bigger things over. And here's my red currant bush. It's doing all right. And then my blackberries. There's one. This one's just really gone crazy this year. It's just really doing well. This one in the middle died back, so I dug it out. And then there was a piece that was growing at the old house, so I dug that up and brought it, and it looks dead. The other piece I transplanted and put it in a different spot, and we'll see. And then this blackberry's doing really well. So right now I've got 3 that are doing really well. And then I brought this boysenberry in here, and it seems to be really happy. And then those other 3 out there, I don't know if I'm going to bring them in or if we're going to move the fence, but there's 1, 2, and 3 out there. And I got my blueberry. The gophers ate my other one at the old house. And then this is the apple tree that Jason Davian got me for Mother's Day last year. And it actually has apples on it this year. It's really awesome. And this is the cherry tree that my mom gave me, plus my dog Callie. And my flower bed. I got my irises, my lilies, and a few other little things, but you get a lot of sun here, so it kind of burns them. And this is a dwarf cherry, but it's never made cherries. And my spirea. And my grapevine that I got from Paulina's mom, Luann, that's never done anything either. I mean, it grows, but it doesn't do any grapes. This is our back gate right here. And then we have our bench back here. We had to block it off or use it as a blocker because the deer were eating our pumpkin plant, but now it's growing outside of that again. So I don't know what we're going to do here because they really seem to like it. Oh, and these are my two little elves that I repainted. There's that one. And that one. This is our side gate. I've always wanted to do something with that iron gate thing, so that turned out pretty cool. But it's coming along. Trying to slowly but surely move everything over from the old house up here. I just brought my white currant bush, and it looks like it's dead. But I don't think that it is. I planted it deep and I've been watering it. It just doesn't look very good, but I think it'll do better this spring, I think. I have high hopes for it. There's my raspberries from the outside view. Hopefully they'll really come in again in the spring or summer next year. And then we brought the burning bush, and it looks pretty rough right now. So it got some wind burn, and then being transplanted was rough on it. And then I have to have my umbrella to keep the sun off of all of my little baby trees. Some of them are doing okay, but most are having a rough time. And I've got a few that are doing all right. The maples look like they're doing better than the others. Well, hopefully they'll all make it. We'll see this next spring. This is the one I got from Chad and Teresa. We had to cut it down because it looked like it was dead, but it's not dead. I think it's a sand plum or sand cherry, something like that. But theirs is a big, huge tree, so I have pretty good high hopes on that one. And then I brought this spruce that was not doing very well over at the old house because it was in a tiny area. And it looks like it's doing pretty good. It didn't go through any bad shock thing or anything else. It's really spread out and looks pretty good. That was the worst area on it, is back here because it was up against the burning bush actually. And so now it's really gotten a chance to spread out and do better. And it looks pretty good. So I think it's going to do a lot better. And my flowers are coming along. They're late bloomers. But I planted all my flowers from seed myself in my greenhouse this year. And so I've got a mix of petunias and marigolds and morning glories in here. Different colors, and they're coming along. They seem pretty happy. And I got my hanging baskets that I also grew all the different wave petunias. That are coming along pretty good. They're the ones that are vining, trailing, whatever. And seem to be doing pretty good. This one, the other ones didn't do so well, so I had to replant a couple new ones. So those ones hopefully will come along here soon. But some of them are doing really well. This is my backyard area this is my new project that I've started working on. And it's my little shade garden back here because it's pretty dark all the time. I've brightened it up with my phone so that you can see it, but I got my little fake steps type thing so that my stuff, I got all my vines and stuff so that they can go up it. But I got my ivy here that's going to be going up the steps, and then I got my hostas. There's that one, and that one, and that one. And then I got a couple different types of vine. There's one that's more of a regular vinca vine, and then one that's more of, it's like a vinca vine, but it's one that gets blue flowers, creeping myrtle. And so they're both together. One of them I got from Mom, the vinca vine, and then the creeping myrtle I had at the old house. And it needed to be moved because it needed water really bad. So I planted a bunch of it back here, and it seems to be doing pretty well, as long as I can keep the chickens out of here, because they keep digging everything up. And then every time they dig it up, I have to restart. So I got all this going though. It looks like it's doing pretty good, as long as it gets a chance to actually grow instead of being kicked out of here. I've transplanted this stuff here probably about 20 times, no joke, really 20 times, because they've dug it out so many times. But this is wild trumpet vine or honeysuckle, and it seems to be doing pretty good so far. It doesn't look like it's dead, so I'm hoping it'll grow. And got another one over here that I thought was dead, and all of a sudden today it looks like it's alive, so I'm pretty happy about that, because that grows wild out here. So I just dug some up and moved it. This is my weeping willow. It has a long way to go, but I'm pretty proud of it. I've been working on it for a while. I got it tied up so that it can get some stability and growth. But it's doing pretty good after it got hit by the tree that fell. But I'm still working on it. And I got my little wishing well here. And then I got my little oak tree over here. And yes, I have to have it covered, otherwise it'll be in full sun all day and dry out and die. So I do what I can. I planted a couple other trees that I got from Arbor Day. One is a Colorado blue spruce, as you can see there in the back, that's orange and dead looking. And in the front there's a pine tree. It's dead looking too, and it's probably dead because I waited too long to plant it, but we're trying. But I've set up my little wishing well, or my little fountain, and wheelbarrow. I'm trying to set up some of my yard stuff, give it some decoration. And I've got my little bistro table set here in the back. But we need to plant a bunch of grass back here that we haven't done yet. This is my other table and chair set that I like to sit at most of the time. They're a big old huge rock that's been here since we got here. And I spend a lot of time here because it's shaded, and it was the only shady spot when we first moved here. And it's pretty comfortable here. It's a lot cooler at this spot than everywhere else. And there's the deck. It turned out really nice. Nice and big. There's always lots of stuff on it though. But it turned out really good. And our yard's a work in progress. But compared to how it started out, it's come a long way. Well, thanks for watching.